One of the best investments that an investor can make is perhaps Netflix or Amazon. When I say that, I don't mean buying the share, I mean subscribing to that, simply because it takes your mind off investing. Otherwise, 9 o'clock you start until 3:30, you have nothing else to do, so you keep on looking at the screen and wondering what to buy and what to sell. And if you're like me and you're inundated with forecasts, then you look at forecasts and you say, what will happen with the Ukraine war, what will happen to Putin, what will happen to Biden, and you just get more and more confused. So the best thing to do is to switch off from the market and either read a book, and if you don't know which book to read, watch some movie on Netflix or Amazon Prime. And there are amazing movie producers today who make great movies. So watching one movie and watching it during market time is a very useful exercise for you to do if you're a real investor, because the market is very confusing. It sends wrong signals continuously. It keeps giving signals, and it is your job to switch off all notification. If you don't switch off notification, there will be some call from some brokerage house saying, if you do this, I will give you lesser brokerage. At least my broker calls me, or some girl in my brokerage office or some boy will call me and give me a deal which I can't refuse, and I tell them only one thing: please don't call me, right? So it's very difficult. And I also don't understand this whole exercise of forecasting. Why don't we accept, at least as retail investors, that we can't forecast, right? I don't have any ability to forecast. I don't know what is going to happen in the next quarter. I do not know whether Tata Motors SUV selling is good news or bad news, right? Whether they've gone to the number one slot in the SUV sales at a time when you think the whole world is not buying cars. Why is their sales going up? I don't know. Do I have Tata Motors in my portfolio? Yes, I have Tata Motors in my portfolio. I'm in the money by a long mile. I have Tata Steel. Not that I love these companies, but they've been there historically and I have not sold them fast enough. And in this market they have participated, so I don't have any great regrets holding them. But I'm just saying, right? So when will we stop forecasting and not worry about what is going to happen on a quarter to quarter basis? Oh, oil prices have gone up, therefore coal prices will go up, therefore cement margins will be under pressure, so sell cement. But then you find that the cement company that you wanted to buy is not gone down, or the company that you wanted to sell has not gone up enough. So what do? So you're stuck with those cement shares, you're stuck with those paint shares. You don't know what to do. You don't know whether to buy because they've fallen or sell because they can fall further, right? So it's very difficult. So don't get into this forecasting game. But it is very exciting to forecast, right? To look at it and say, oh, I think oil should go up, I think gas should go up, I think metal should go down. We have no clue. We are guessing too much. We do not know what will be the impact of war, but I also know that the impact of war cannot be more than 45 days. So that's historically the proof. Even the World War recovery was just 300 days. So I think we should stop forecasting. It's very difficult to be creating videos and saying things like stop forecasting, because in the YouTube world, 90% of investment videos are about forecasting or saying, therefore F&O is good, you should do this option, you should buy this put, you should buy this call, and therefore you should short sell. Asian Paints and Pidilite and HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank, TCS can never fall, so whatever be the price, you should keep buying. So if it falls, you buy more and you do averaging. Because none of these theories will work permanently, right? So at some stage you will some share will reach a price at which you should not be averaging, you should be selling, or you should be buying lump sum, right? All those options will always be there. Don't go to Google and search which are the best shares to buy. You will get an answer, and that may not be the best shares to buy, right? So handling that. So first is not to participate in the forecasting game, because that is the kind of calls you get from television channels saying, abhi kya lagta hai, what the market will do, next quarter what will do. I have no clue what it will do. I'm very happy that I don't have to be in the forecasting game. I don't forecast markets. I don't understand markets enough to forecast. I find it very difficult to forecast the EPS of one quarter of one company. I find that difficult, and then that is after talking to some analysts and looking at a lot of data. I find it impossible to say that. And even if I find that the company has, this company has done badly because the company has a factory in Russia, it's not end of the world, right? It's not Ukraine as a raider has attacked Russia and Russia is going to suffer. It is not that those sanctions will not be lifted. maybe it's a great time to be buying. But it is also possible that for 6 months the companies, that factory will not do well, and therefore the EPS may be hit. So you may find the share price go lower. But if you believe in good quality of the management, etc., blah blah blah, that could be the time to be buying. But what happens if you bought the share at say 1000 rupees and then the price now is 850 rupees? Do you buy at 850 or do you wait for it to go to 750? I don't know. So stop forecasting. It doesn't make sense. I have no clue how to get a portfolio review done for my own self by somebody who can talk about why I'm holding those shares. I need to do that. That kind of feedback is not available. Generic feedback is available whether a good share, it's a good share or a bad share. And I don't have enough holding in any one share to impact my portfolio. So to me, the forecasting game doesn't really matter. But if I were you and I were picking up stocks, I would really subscribe to Amazon Prime and Netflix and watch a lot of movies during market time, so that you don't take any action, or get somebody to tie up your hands and say, okay, I will not act. Or making sure that every time that you log in, you have to put through a whole big process of saying put in your name and your password. Don't keep it available on your, don't keep your broker on your quick call screen and say, okay, kya lagta hai market, what should I buy, what should I sell? Don't do that. It's the time to be itching for action, yes, but I'm not itching for action. I'm sitting tight doing nothing. So I don't know whether what I bought is good. I do not know whether I've sold is good. After I sell, I see some prices going up. After I buy, I see some prices going up. I do not know whether to book profits. What if you see a 20% profit in the week? You bought it for 100 rupees, it's 120 rupees, and are you tempted to sell, or are you saying, no, I'm in the process of building my portfolio, so I don't think I want to sell at such a small margin. But then it is 20% in a week. If you extrapolate, it is an amazing percentage, right? Not that you should extrapolate. So then you keep wondering, is it gone up too much, too fast? Is the Fed printing too much of notes? Is RBI printing too much of notes? What about inflation? All these questions. And then say, the forecast says the inflation will be 6%. I seriously don't know whether it will be 6% or 9%. And nor am I bothered. I'm more worried about the inflation impacting me. And that's not really changing much. I have not been paying my grocer more than what I was paying him in March 2020. About 4,000 rupees a month is what I pay for a lot of things together, and that has not changed. My wife is not saying that we need to put more money into the grocer's account. I've been just putting 4,000 rupees into his account every month, and that has not changed, neither has our consumption pattern. So I'm not worried too much about inflation. If I'm not worried too much about inflation, why should I really be worried about my equity return, as long as it does preservation of capital, right? So it's a real tough situation to answer all these questions. But one thing I'm very clear, I'm not going to talk about the budget. I'm not going to talk about forecasting. I don't know what will happen in the next quarter. I don't know what will happen in the next 6 months. But I know that I can live off my dividends. I have enough liquidity to meet in case of an emergency. I have my medical insurance in place. So really nothing much to do. Hey, Netflix, Amazon Prime, here I come. Please throw up some good movies in any language that you have, and I'll sit and watch, because I think that is better. Or maybe I read, maybe I write, but definitely doing nothing in the market is a great strategy to be pursuing now, because we don't know what Putin and Biden and all of them have in mind. So just relax. If you can put more money into the market, put in a broad-based index fund, because I don't know what specific shares to pick. I can tell you what I have done. I have picked up oil, gas, metals, and I do not know when I'll sell. So by the time this video comes on air, I may have even sold. So I'm not, please don't use this as advice. But I have my hands full with metals, oil, gas, and travel, Indigos, Mahindra Holiday Resorts, Thomas Cook. I have my hands full. So I'm planning for a world beyond Biden and a world beyond wave 4, wave 5, wave 6, whatever it means, whether it will happen. If you believe, if you watch NDTV, then there is no place where you can invest, and you should migrate. So it depends on what your outlook is, what you wish to do. I think ignoring forecasts, when people like us actually come and put numbers and say market 20% upar jayega, 30% upar jayega, not that I have said it. But there are a lot of people in my clan who believe that forecasting is very good, forecasting is great fun. Yes, forecasting is great fun, but it has no commercial value. Thanks.